Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-December 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Gemini. Welcome, fellow Geminis. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you this month. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. But again, let's go ahead and get started though. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's coming to a close, wrapping up and coming to a close, so the last few weeks or month. Column number 2, we're going to take a general look at the remainder of December. We're also going to do a money column, a love column, and the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note for you. But column number 1, what's wrapping up and coming to a close, let's take a look at our summary card here. Gemini, we have the card Surface. I like this. This is about kind of having a bubble around you and only absorbing the things that are good for you, and everything else just bounces off and rolls off of you. So thinking about having that good surface, Gemini, is always so important. Only let in the good. But let's go ahead and take a look at our cards here and see what messages we have. The first card that we have is the Death card. I always like to point out that the Death card does not mean death, Gemini, but it does indicate transformation, endings, time to move on, rebirth. So I think we're going through a really major transformation here, going through a really major change. This is significant and meaningful, and it's very much so the grass is greener on the other side. So it's a transition and a transformation and an ending and a beginning and moving on, all wrapped up into one that really needs to happen. So some sort of transition happening there for you. The next card that we have is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card of self-imposed restrictions. If you look at this person, their eyes are blindfolded, their arms are bound down, but yet there's all these swords stuck into the ground around them, so they can very easily wiggle back and cut themselves free. So there's possibly, potentially, Gemini, that you've been limiting yourself or kind of holding yourself back. Just be aware of that, and if we're still feeling that, take action on that accordingly. That Eight of Swords is kind of like a warning card to not do that. At the bottom here, we have the Four of Swords. This about sums up how I'm feeling, Gemini. I don't know if it's just me or if it's all of us. But the Four of Swords is a super tired card. It's a card of needing to rest, retreat, renew, recover. I feel like I'm like barely dragging through the end of the year. The nice thing though is this is what's wrapping up and coming to a close. So hopefully we can get past these tired energies and start feeling right going into the new year there. Let's take a look at clarifiers though, Gemini, and see what else we're working on. The first card that we have is the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of low feelings. And I always like to point out it's okay to grieve change, even when we leave something that's not so good behind. Sometimes we still grieve it, even though it didn't feel good to us. So this change should be interesting. You could be questioning it. You could be wondering if it's the right thing. You could be grieving what you have. But transformation and growth is part of the bigger cycle, it's part of the grander picture. So this death transformation still does feel good. Possibly some of you could have actually lost somebody as well, so I'm sorry for those of you that did. But I feel like this is mostly kind of grieving the transition or grieving the change here. The next card that we have is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of teamwork. Perhaps some of you have been kind of isolated. That is also meaning of the Eight of Swords. Not giving out a lot, not interacting a lot. So those do kind of go hand in hand. The Three of Wands, though, is a card of commerce and a card of expansion. So do keep that top of mind. We definitely don't want to be limiting ourselves from more money or growth. And at the bottom here, we have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is like Prince or Princess Charming. It's a knight in shining armor. Very romantic, very proposal-like. Some of you could have gotten engaged or married or entered into a new relationship. Perhaps there's new friendship or even a new animal these last few weeks, but some sort of new relationship coming through there, Gemini. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is general, what's coming for the remainder of December. We have the card magnetism. You've probably heard me say this before, but I'm really strong into manifesting and attracting the things that you want to yourself. Magnetism goes right in line with that. This is attracting whatever you want to you. I will say the one word of advice, if you will, here on magnetism, Gemini, is you need to focus on what you want. If you focus on not being tired, you're just going to be more tired. If you focus on being poor, you're just going to be more poor. So we need to think about the abundant version of it. So feeling happy, feeling healthy, feeling vibrant, feeling energized, feeling like we have an abundance of money. So what you focus on is what you get. So make sure we're focusing on the positivity with that magnetism card. The first card we have here is the Magician. The Magician is a card of turning your visions into reality. So again, be very clear on what you want. The only way the Magician can deliver is if we're clear on what we want. But we have the Magnetism card and the Magician card here, so really nice pairing. I mean, these next few weeks is like the time to get it done, Gemini. Whatever you're wanting, you can have here. The next card that we have is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is a card of bully, theft, violence, abusive, some sort of toxic relationship. I think this is coming up as like a conflict. It seems like an isolated incident, but I'm going to clarify for us, of course. And then at the bottom we have the Star card. The Star card is a card of renewal, hope, inner clarity. Thank goodness, because I was just telling you how tired and burnt out I am, how low the energies are. So we're really glad to see this renewal and this energy coming back up here, Gemini. Let's take a look though and see what other messages we've got going on here. The first card we have is the Ace of Cups. Anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness. With the case of Ace of Cups, this is typically new baby, relationship, proposal, marriage. Definitely some new love energy swirling around for you. Don't leave out new animal. That's always a possibility as well. But I feel like whatever this new love is, it's what you were hoping for. It's what you've been wanting. So I really like that energy together. The next card that we have is the Lover's card. The Lover's card is another card of deep love. It's deep love, partnership, strength together, happy, healthy, thriving relationships. Again, perhaps there is a conflict here, so just be aware of that. I don't know that it's like relationship ending or a bad relationship or anything like that, but this is coming through as a conflict, perhaps with a loved one, a lover, just given the love energy that's coming through so strong here. And then at the bottom here, we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a reminder to be resourceful with the resources we have. So make sure we're using our energy appropriately. Make sure we're using our time appropriately, our money appropriately. And that's one way that we can maintain those higher levels of energy, maintain that renewal. The Queen of Pentacles is also very domestic, so lots of love energy coming through here strong. Okay, now at this time we're going to take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. I did get this new deck. It's like money, tips, tricks, advice. So we're going to start with that. It says, remove the word broke from your vocabulary. You are abundant with resources and opportunities to assist in building wealth. In this column, we're going to talk about anything related to money, job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, whatever you associate with money here, Gemini. First up, we have the Ten of Cups. I am sure you've heard me say this countless times, but the Ten of Cups is my favorite card in the entire deck. It's a card of everything wonderful. We have the full rainbow, a happy couple, kids playing, the grass is green, the water is running, there's a house in the background. It's the card of total love, support, family, contentment. Contentment is really why I like it. As I've gotten older, I realize it's really hard to be content. And now I have a new appreciation for it. Silly how that works. But I like this. You're content financially. You're content with your career. This is a good feeling. If you're trying to make an investment as well, it could definitely be a house, but really any sort of large investment, the Ten of Cups is a great indicator as well. The next card that we have is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a card of setting boundaries. Now is a good time to set, maintain, keep boundaries. I feel like some of you are overworking, putting in too many time, too many hours. It's not terrible to be the yes person, but it can definitely get you in trouble, Gemini, if you're not careful. So make this time to reset boundaries, and definitely I'm getting like, don't take on a lot more before the end of the year. Something may pop up and you need to be realistic if it's something you can do between now and the end of the year. At the bottom here, we have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card of surprise gifts. That's what that fourth cup is coming in. So I do think there will be some sort of holiday, end of year bonus, holiday gift for you from your employer. So that's looking like good energy. Hopefully it's lots and lots of money for you guys down there. Looking at clarifiers, the first clarifier we have is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card of waiting for results. I feel like you've been waiting to make this investment. You've been wanting to do it, but timing or whatever else hasn't worked out. So this feels good. This is also a card of planning. So do whatever planning that may be needed for that Ten of Cups energy. The next card that we have is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card of action and change. Again, now is a good time to reset boundaries or set boundaries for the first go round. Things are in flight. Now is a good time for boundaries. Also, this is a card of speed, action, quick change. I do feel like that thing could like sneak up at you last minute. So again, be realistic there. At the bottom, we have the Sun card. The Sun card is a card of material happiness, joyous outcomes, success. It really doesn't get much better. I don't know that you've been loving work, but it seems like we're ending on a pretty high note and things are trending up. I will say, Gemini, you may not feel them trending up, but they are. Things are like turning in the background, if you will, here. Okay, now let's look at our next column, which is anything related to love. Similar to the money deck, I did just get a new love card, so let's take a look at this. If you could be anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind. The heart is the gateway to the soul. Let's take a look. This is going to be friends, family, relationship, children, marriage, whatever you associate with love here, Gemini. The first card that we have is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is very nostalgic. It's a card of reflection. I do feel like you're doing some reflection just on the year in general, which makes sense as we go into the end of the year. I would say this is coming through as family and friends, which it doesn't always, but do make sure you get out there and enjoy your family and friends. And I feel like there is like a really nice gift coming for you here. Not sure if it's from parent, friend, loved one, love interest, whatever it may be, but it does seem like there is a gift coming your way from a loved one this month, Gemini. The next card that we have is the Chariot. The Chariot was once described to me as the vroom vroom card, and it means there's action, there's change. It's about being on a journey. I'm not sure the exact event that's happening here, but your relationship is evolving. Things are advancing, things are moving forward. You just took a big step forward together for those of you that are in a relationship. If those of you are seeking a relationship, I think this could be good too. If you're seeking a relationship, there very well could be a reunion. That's a big meaning with the Six of Cups there. And at the bottom here, we have the Four of Pentacles, which is our desires. So I do feel like there is something with love that we want that we maybe don't have right now. But let's clarify and see what other messages I can provide you here. The first card that we have is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of stress, exhaustion, having too many burdens. Oh, this feels so much like the Four of Swords we were talking about, Gemini. This is tired. This is really tired going into the end of the year. But reflect. It's really important to, I think, look back at all you've accomplished. Sometimes when you're so down or you're so busy, it's hard to realize the progress you've made. So I encourage you to be nostalgic and reflect on the year and all that's happened for you. Again, make sure we're lifting these energies up and kind of reviving here. Perhaps the gift that you received too will really help correct some of this low energy. At the bottom, or excuse me, in the middle here for clarifiers, we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a card of like finding out information. I'm not sure what you're going to find out this month, but you are going to find something out. Perhaps that's like the decision or the move you're making, somehow tied to more information or truth there, Gemini. And at the bottom, we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of feeling like you have to defend yourself. I feel like you're having to defend this desire or clarify this desire, perhaps is maybe a better way to say it. But it's like everybody needs to be on the same page, and I think that's not the case right now because it's almost like, again, you're justifying it I don't know that you should be needing to justify this desire or this next move. So again, work towards clarity and getting on the same page with whatever that desire is there, Gemini. Sorry, I bumped the camera. I have to do it at least one time in every video. Okay, now let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. We have the card Alchemy. This is an interesting card. This is all about the ability to overcome, the ability to downplay and minimize things that pop up. So when something doesn't go your way, it's about the ability to continue to move forward and oversee and overcome that obstacle. One of the examples of alchemy in this deck is like anxiety that sports players get before a game, but rather than being overcome by that anxiety, they use that anxious energy to then become a better athlete. So again, it's all about that ability to overcome. Well, let's take a look and see what messages we've got going on. Okay, the first card that we have is the Moon card. The Moon card is a card of unexpected. It's like a curve in the road that we didn't see coming. It is really important that we use our intuition to navigate this. And again, it's going to be all about how we overcome here, Gemini. The next card that we have is the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a card of celebration. It's family and friends. Again, get out there and enjoy those family and friends this month. But see this finish line here. It's like a card of completion. I feel like we're finishing something and starting something new, but it didn't come as we would have expected. Again, it took kind of that unexpected turn in the road. At the bottom here, though, we're ending on the Fool card, which is fresh hope, taking chances, new paths, adventures, beginnings. It seems like something new is coming up, and perhaps this is even just the new year. But let's clarify. The first clarifier we have is the Two of Swords. This is a card of making a decision. As this curve comes up, you just need to decide how you're going to proceed forward with the information or the scenario as it is. Again, it's about how we respond, how we overcome, Gemini. So be thoughtful with that during your decision. The next card that we have is the Magician. The Magician is creating, it's turning visions into reality. It's accomplishing what you want to accomplish, which is no doubt going to happen there with that Four of Wands finish line. So it's getting what you want. It's accomplishing what you want here. And at the beginning, or at the very end, sorry, at the end here, oh my goodness, at the end here, we have the Devil card. I keep thinking beginnings with the Fool. Our last clarifier we have is the Devil card. This is a card of greed. This is a card of envy, materialism, obsession. Again, we cannot be obsessing over the obstacles. We need to be focused on where we're going, what we want in the future versus the present and any challenges we have. So don't get caught up in anything that pops up or is not as expected. Okay, Gemini, at this time I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use our Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the Four of Clubs. This is number 4 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is question number 2 is the Jack of Diamonds. This is number 14 card. That's going to be a yes. And question number 3 is the Six of Diamonds. This is number 51 card. That's going to be a no. So yes, yes, no for you there, Gemini. If you watched your video earlier this month, we did pull a card from our Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you throughout the month of December. It says ruby, but it was actually rhodonite. There it is. Rhodonite's good for closure. It helps with balance. It helps process any traumatic experiences we may be having. And last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Stones deck. Your healing note says, when you can't remember why you are hurt, that is when you are healed. Thank you so much, Gemini, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, if you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you so much, Gemini, and I hope you have a wonderful remainder of the year.